Rod Brandon is the Executive Director for Seattle Housing Authority. Brandon has been serving as SHA's Director since 2010 prior to becoming the Executive Director in 2021. He has an extensive career experience in creative policies and programs and has been serving as other leadership positions. Prior to working with SHA, Brandon went to the University of Montana and also attended the John F. Kennedy School of Government, where he completed a program for the senior executives in the state and the local government. In this interview, Mr. Brandon discussed his challenges, accomplishments, and goals, emphasizing his experience and the elements that contributed to his success, and noting that he would do it all over again. Brandon talks about his experience with people he met through his time working with SHA and how it helped him grow more. He also talked about how it's hard to oversee SHA's largest department with approximately 400 staff serving more than 17,000 residents in 8,500 housing units, and how it's affected him throughout the years. Throughout this interview, Brandon showed us how that even from being from a different community and lifestyle, you can still make a difference where you want as long as you commit to it and show your perseverance all throughout the hardships. Brandon is deeply committed to the mission and values of SHA, and we will forever be thankful for his service and contribution to 2023 MMRTI Summer Program.
Before I answer questions, I just want to say good morning and just take a few minutes to just look you all in the eye and just thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your patience for me this morning. Apologize for being a few minutes late, but it's great to see you all. So I look forward to today's discussion. I won't call it an interview, I'll call it a discussion because I want it to be more interactive with the folks I have up here, and hopefully if we have time to continue to be interactive with you all. So thank you. We have a long, rich history together, and I want to hopefully build on that. So for you two facilitating, thank you, because it's not easy to stand up here and to interview someone you don't know well. So just try to enjoy that process, and I'll try to do the same. Public servants, I stumbled on it. So I went to, I'm originally raised in Southern California. I'm a Los Angeles or Long Beach kid. Had the good fortune to go to college. Got lucky enough to go to school up here in the Northwest, and it was at Montana. Very, very different from anything I knew in Southern California. So in fact, I didn't even know exactly where Montana was when I started filling out the applications for school. I discovered Seattle when I was at Montana. Montana does not have a lot of African Americans or Africans or people of dark skin. They have a lot of Native Americans, but not any other minorities there. Simple things, when I used to go want to get a haircut, I would come to Seattle because I didn't trust anyone, I didn't know, and so I discovered this place called Seattle, Washington by visiting for things like that. I decided to move here after college. I went back to California, liked it, but I wanted a more connected community. I wanted to work where I lived to feel a little bit more connected. LA is hard to do that. It's hard to work where you live. You're always commuting, so Seattle attracted me to that for a number of reasons. And when I came here, I wanted to get involved in the community, and so I started in public service. I started actually working for Harborview Medical Center, University of Washington, and it just grew on me. I was a business major, business administration and finance, and once I got a taste of being a public servant, working for a greater cause, connecting with people, building a civic community, it just grew, and I never left it. And so I've been involved in public servant work and serving the general public for the last 25 years. So, and haven't looked back, and I'm glad I did.
Why do you think redeveloping Yesler is helping you in the community?
The question was, why do I think redeveloping Yesler is helping me and the community, I'm assuming. It's not helping me. It is a calling I had to continue to allow and to facilitate community involvement. I grew up in a community that wasn't connected, and there was no hub in my neighborhood growing up for kind of young kids engagement, adult engagement. Yesler was already a community. It was a community that has done really, really well for a long, long time. You know the history. You guys have done some research and reports on, the first integrated housing, when it got started back in the late 30s, early 40s. We wanted to keep it going. And we know that it needed serious, boring stuff, infrastructure work, the sewers, the pipes, the water, the basic functionality of a community was failing on us. Not the people. The people side was doing well, but the infrastructure and the physical things around the community were failing. And we have, I believe, a responsibility to make sure that that quality of product and infrastructure is in place for the community to continue to thrive. So we redeveloped Yesler to begin to build on some of that infrastructure. And then also, we knew that we can improve the housing here. The housing is was not at the quality that we wanted to have the pride for as an organization, for you all, for your parents, friends to live in. And so we wanted to improve that. So we embarked upon how do we do that? And fortunately, in SHA's case, before my time working in this position, they started with the community. They didn't start with, we know how to do it, we just, we're going to come up with these plans. But they started engaging with folks like you on what should we do, what do you care about, what do you like, what do you don't like, all that kind of stuff. So that's just pretty exciting to be behind a project of redevelopment when you bring in those who live here and you try to build and facilitate on what they already have. So.
What are some safety concerns in Yesler?
Safety concerns? Safety concerns is bigger than Yesler. I know this is what matters as you're immediately engaged in this community, as you hang out with your friends and do things and you see things, it feels as if safety is very important here, and which it is. There's no question about that. But we live in a time right now, safety is all over this region. Safety concerns, safety issues, the type of various levels of safety that we experience and that we perceive is present. So Yesler is no different. But we can begin to address those areas of safety at Yesler. One of the ways we're trying to do it is through community. It's through you all being active, being engaged, and being mobile throughout the community and having good activity. So that's a way of helping community safety. But we have some other things that we need to do that's not on the community's part, that plays a role, but that's on SHA's part, that's on the City of Seattle's part, on police and how they care and patrol and interact with this community. So we are concerned about it. It's happening in so many ways. You guys probably know better than I do, whether it is folks who don't even live here, who come through here and do things that is not valued in this community, folks who live here who do things. It's a number of different ways. So it is always a concern for me, whether it's Yesler and any of our properties in the city of Seattle. So as you hear, and I don't know if you get a chance to interview the mayor, it's on his mind. he's spending a lot of time thinking about public safety downtown as he is managing a number of issues there. Okay, so it's on our mind, but community involvement, community activity, community engagement is an indirect way of trying to help with safety and perception of safety.
What differences about safety are there compared to building SI?
That's hard for me to answer. I think it'll be best answered by residents who were here at the old Yesler. I'm seeing it from a different perspective than someone who lives in the community, who opens the door, walks down the street at 9 o'clock at night, or takes their dog for a walk at 6 in the morning. I don't have that level of experience that residents do, and it'll be hard for me to answer it in that way. I always go back to and think about safety as if you're strong and connected as a community, and if you have the shared values as a community, that goes a long way in some of the elements of safety, So we need to, from an administrator perspective, invest in so many ways in all communities. This is no different, and we are trying to do it here. So we just don't invest in, we just need more police officers. We can assess whether you need more or not. It may be more important on what type of folks do you have come into the community. We had community police officers who we talked to and interviewed and engaged to say, we want you to be part of this community. We don't want you to be outside and thinking that you need to have a parental role over this community. But I want you to know every single kid and family who lives here. That was our expectation at SHA when we had community officers. So that's a different way of policing. And then what else do you need? You don't just need police. So are there educational things? Are there health indicators? Are there environmental elements? All of those things fit into community safety, and I'm hoping we're seeing more of that than we did with the old Yesler. I'm hoping.
What challenges have you faced managing a low-income rental housing and assistance to 38,306 people?
Oh boy, that's a great question. The challenges are unbelievable, you guys. There's just so many, which makes the job really, really cool and really, really fun. Every day when I come to work, I experience things and find out things or begin to help solve problems on things I couldn't even think about the previous day at SHA, and that's exciting to me. So it's not a predictable environment, but it is an environment that continues to energize me in the sense of, as I look for in a low-income environment that we operate in, but we also operate in a mixed income environment. Yesler is another example of where we have various income levels living together. And I see the disparities that we have when we have low income and other incomes together. And that energizes me to make sure that we can try to begin to eliminate or hear those voices of different folks who historically have not had the same voice power as other folks who are not low income. Those are pretty cool things for me to get engaged with and to help me, energize me to just root out and deal with. So I see it, and it comes up in so many different ways, subtle. You guys, hear about systematic impacts from a systems perspective, not from an individual perspective, and to get a chance to look at systems, how do people get on the wait list for housing? There's a system that that runs that versus how does an individual deal with trying to get access to housing. And we look at both because the system could open the doors for people who we have not considered in the past, and it can change how people walk through that door for folks who engage with us. So we look at that. And if you all ever see me walking around Yesler or at events at Yesler, come up and say something. Either tell me how things are going, just say hi. Please introduce yourself so I can begin to know you other than just the looks of your faces, okay? So don't feel bashful. Just come up and let me know a little bit about yourself, where you go to school, what do you do, all that cool stuff, okay? Thank you guys. Thank you.